The auto level in an RV is one of those things that's really great and amazing when it works well and really frustrating when it doesn't. You go to count on it, you want to level the RV, and it just doesn't get it level. Well, today I have a handful of tips that will hopefully help you set it up properly so that you can get that auto level function to work more consistently. Here's the thing about the auto level system is it's really simple. We have on here our arrows up and down for being able to hitch and unhitch the fifth wheel from the truck. We have retract all, we have hitch height, and we ultimately have auto level right there on this outside display. We have another internal display that allows us to have more of the manual functions. But as long as we work with the system with these tips, it helps us to where we never have to do it manually and we can just use the auto level function in here. So let's get right into it because I think these tips will work with any auto level system out there. So first off, I think of auto level as putting the final touch on leveling the RV. I'm not looking for it to do miracles or the extreme situation, being able to take a very out of level site and be able to put the RV level without any complications. So I kind of give it the eyeball check. That's one of the first things that I do is I want to see how level it is from side to side, how much am I going to have to raise or lower the front. Those kind of things I want to take into consideration before I even disconnect the RV from the truck. I especially pay attention to the left to right. It's easier to raise or lower the front, but left to right, I don't want to start lifting wheels off of the ground. In my opinion, it's not a good idea to lift the wheels off the ground. It can be done, but I've also seen it where people are lifting wheels off the ground. Just last week, I saw one shift and it ended up shearing the bolts and bending the landing gear. So that's why I like to keep all the wheels on the ground and keep them chalked. I don't want the RV moving, damaging anything, or causing a larger issue. So even though we have auto level, I still keep those wedges for being able to level up the RV. It's just the quickest, easiest, most compact way to be able to level side to side quickly without making a big fuss about it. So you can use those wedges that we've used. We're using them right now. And you can see we're not on them super high, but our tires would be off the ground if we weren't using these. But you could use the stackable levelers. You could use wood underneath those tires. The key point is you want to make sure that you can chalk those tires and keep things from moving around and not raise those wheels off of the ground. Now, while doing this process, I just keep it simple and I really do just eyeball it. I just look to see if it looks close to level, but if you want some tools to not play the guessing game, you could have a bubble level on there. You can mount those to the RV. On the last RV, we had one of the big ones that went on the hitch of the fifth wheel. You can also use the LevelMate Pro. We've done a video on that has an app that tells you how level your RV is. It'll tell you how many inches it needs to raise or lower or shift from left to right to get to that level point. So we've used that, and we've also used this is RV Leveler Pro. And both those, sometimes you have to recalibrate it, which can be kind of annoying, but sometimes having that information that just tells you exactly how many inches you're up or down is very handy. Now, this next one might be the biggest culprit for why auto level doesn't always work the first time, and it's just using it within the way that it is programmed. So if you're in a site that's opposite of what we have here, so if you pull into a site and your nose is higher, so the grade is going up, you want to extend a portion of this before you start supporting it by these blocks down here and building it up to where it doesn't have that far to go down, or before you drop down this leg. We let out a little bit of this so that it has room to go down, because if you pull into your site and your RV's already sitting nose up and you support it without having any of that mechanical advantage, having the hydraulics or the electric be able to come down, your RV has nowhere to be able to bring that nose down. But if you let out some of that, it's able to adjust down, get closer to level, and then fine tune things. So being able to put this out, whether it's on hydraulics and you're not building up as many blocks, or you're not dropping this down all the way to the ground before you let some out, that way when your nose up, it actually has the ability to move down because that's what it wants to do first, and then it's going to auto level and work itself in. The key is paying attention to how your RV is sitting. Don't handicap it by stacking too many blocks when you shouldn't, or dropping this leg down farther than you should. So as long as it has that ability to nose down and get closer to level, that's going to make it more successful every time. Now, when we level our RV, we leave our slides in for a couple of reasons. Number one, we don't want to have anybody inside the RV while we're trying to do auto level. We want it to be able to level up, not have anybody moving around, throwing off the sensors, and it not being able to level. Number two, we have to mess with our stairs. If you have stairs that land on the ground and you're using auto level, I've seen it where doors get messed up, stairs get messed up. You don't want to have any metal bent because those stairs are touching the ground and then it's leveling and jamming itself up. You don't want to have any of that happen. So we just leave the stairs in, the slides in, we auto level, and then we finish setting up. A couple other common problems that are easy to head off is to make sure that you don't overextend your legs. So if you need to put some blocks underneath there because it's going to be going down a long ways until it contacts the ground, you can do that. You can drop that foot down if you have that option to be able to make up some of that distance. So that way it's not out of stroke, meaning that it doesn't have enough to mechanically drop down to the ground. Another one is you need to have sufficient charge in your batteries. This one sounds pretty simple, but you might have enough to run the lights and some simple things inside the RV, but it takes some considerable power to raise and lower your RV with these motors or with the hydraulics. So you want to make sure that your batteries are charged sufficiently, or you need to plug it in so that you can get the power so that you can raise and lower those. A problem that we had with our RV was it was actually out of calibration. So it would never auto level. It was always nose down. So we had to manually go in there, use the system, get it to a level spot, and then tell it this is level. It'd calibrate it so that way every time that we've used it afterwards, it goes to the exact same spot of level. So these tips can go across the board to just about any of the auto level systems that are out there. They're not specific to any one individual. So if you do these, I think any auto level system will have a better chance of leveling every single time. So I think that's going to do it for today. I hope those handful of tips will help you use your auto level system in the RV and help you worry about it less, have more success in using the auto level. So I think that's going to do it. So if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos about RVing, hit that subscribe button. And if we don't see you on the road, hopefully we will see you next video.